Your microphone does not matter as much as you think it does. This is unfortunately something that I have had to learn the hard way. And before we talk about that, I do want to just say really quickly, thank you for watching. These audio videos have been getting a lot more views than I anticipated. I'm usually a mouse guy, and I'm more than happy to keep doing these audio videos because I love them. So why doesn't your microphone matter? Well, if your microphone sounds like this,
I don't know, I've never had...
then it probably does, and you should probably upgrade. But there are three main reasons why your microphone upgrade might not matter as much as you think it does. And reason number one is going to be diminishing returns is the idea that at a certain point, you stop getting a huge return on your investment. So in this case, at a certain level, the quality, the pure sound quality that you're getting out of your microphone is actually not equal to the amount of money that you're putting in. And I think that level is different for different mics. For dynamic mics, I think that price point comes in right around, I would say like $100. Things like the Shure SM58, the SE Electronics V7, and the PreSonus PD70 are good sounding mics in that area. But I did also just do a review on the Fifine K688. That was a microphone that came in at $70. It was a streaming dynamic microphone. If you want to, I did a video on that. Go ahead and put that in the description down below. Now, you could spend a few $100s extra and get yourself something like the SM7B or the RE20, but the improvement might not necessarily be several times greater the price. Now, the SM7B is a relatively cheap microphone in comparison to some of the mics that we'll be talking about in this video, but it's not even close to the most expensive dynamic mics on the market. And I feel like the RE20 is the absolute peak of dynamic microphone sound quality, so there are options out there worth hundreds more, totaling near $1,000, but does that mean you're getting a significantly times better experience? I think not. For condensers, there is quite a lot of variation to that category. Condensers tend to be a bit more expensive than dynamic microphones, so I would say the point of diminishing returns starts at around 300, maybe even up to 500. Condensers are hard because there's actually a lot of outliers out there like the Neat King B2. That sounds like a high-end condenser microphone and it's only $150. And then there's the Blue Baby Bottle SL, which is a typically $400 microphone, but it's actually going on sale for $160 these days because Blue no longer exists and they're trying to get rid of inventory. Then of course you have things like the Audio-Technica AT2020, that thing's, pretty okay mic for $100. But ultimately, I'd say if you want to start to peak with condenser sound quality, you really need to start going to the $500 or maybe even $700 range, depending on who you ask. I'm going to link a podcastage video down in the description that demonstrates this point a little bit better. He just has a wide variety of microphones, way more than I could ever dream to have. But what I can do is this. So right now I'm speaking into the Electro Voice RE20. This is a $450 dynamic microphone, and it's my favorite dynamic microphone, period. And now I'm speaking into the Lewitt LCT 540S. This is a $700 condenser microphone, and it is, hopefully, maybe, I have a couple of other options, my new main microphone. But for voiceover, condensers are really just the way to go. They just pick up more detail, they just sound better. And this is the Neumann U87 AI. This is a condenser microphone that ranges around $3,500. I personally paid $3,780 for this microphone. You tell me if you hear a $3,000 difference. And while I must admit this is a very good sounding microphone, I don't like it. And that's because of one thing that is often overlooked when buying a microphone. Your voice matters more than what microphone you use. Like I said, the sound quality of the Neumann is immaculate. I just don't think it fits my voice. I have a very mid-forward sort of nasally tone with my voice. It has a little bit of low end, but not very much, and it has not very much top end either, so it's just very, very, very mid-forward. This means that I should probably go for microphones that have a more pronounced bass and treble region. And the Neumann U87 on paper is one of those microphones, so I'm not really sure what's going on here. But here's what I think. So the Neumann U87 is a transformer microphone, meaning that instead of just a pure solid state FET circuit, it has a transformer on the inside. And I think because of the transformer, it actually has a much more robust mid-range and low end than it's actually advertised. This microphone does have a 10 kilohertz boost, and I don't think that is enough to offset the massively overboosted mid-range. This mic graphs very flat in the mid-range, but my ears are telling me completely different. Just to clarify, I am not an audio engineer by any means. This is just a hobby for me, so there's a very valid opportunity that I am just 100% wrong here. But it just goes to show that you can get the very best microphone in the world, and if it doesn't fit your voice, then it's just not going to sound good. Another great example is the last video that I did, the Fifine K688 video. A couple people in the comments pointed out that the MV7 did not sound good on my voice, and I 100% agree. It's one of the reasons why I just don't like that microphone. It's a very mid-forward microphone, and that combined with the already mid-forward nature of my voice just kind of sounded like I was talking into a Campbell's soup can. But the God's honest truth is that even though there are these little minute differences in all this sort of microphone stuff in terms of audio quality, not a lot of people notice this stuff. And that brings us to the third reason. If you are streaming or podcasting, I feel like this is pretty self-explanatory. Most people who consume content are doing so on a TV, laptop, phone. Those are not really ideal listening, analytical, detail scenarios, which I honestly think is kind of a good thing. It means your audio doesn't have to be the absolute best. It does not have to be perfect for people to consume your content. That combined with YouTube's heavy compression, really the minute details are going to be completely unnoticed by 99% of your audience. You know, it's funny, I really like to do these microphone comparisons. I've done them for my YouTube videos, I've done a few for my friends just for fun in my free time, and it's fun for me because I like to get a lot of different opinions on the sound, and for my friend group specifically, I have a very diverse friend group when it comes to audio proficiency. Some are just like me and care a lot about sound quality and they want to get everything, every fine little detail perfect. Some do care about audio quality but can't really tell. They can't hear the very specific frequency differences between two things when it's really, really small differences. And others could not be bothered and could not give a single fuck. And it's funny to hear their difference in opinion when I do these comparisons, but most of the time I have one friend listening on phone speakers saying they can't hear the difference, and I have one friend listening on like Google Pixel Buds saying they can't hear the difference, and I love to hear that. I think it's fascinating. I don't know why, I just think it's fascinating. It sounds like a negative, but I think, you know, the content creator should take that as a comfort thing because A, you don't have to spend as much on a microphone as you might think, and B, if there is some slight, thing that doesn't sound right, if there is some detail that is a little bit off that you don't like, your audience is probably not going to notice it. So just fucking send it. So in a perfect world, quality goes up at a 1-to-1 ratio with how much you spend. You have a microphone that is perfectly crafted frequency response wise and specifically designed with your voice in mind. And your audience is listening to your video, your podcast, whatever, with the same source and same gear that you're using to record it, and they have a massively overpriced setup and can hear every small little detail possible. But all of that is not reality and pretty far-fetched. At the end of the day, you do not need to spend $4,000 on a microphone. You don't need to spend a shit ton of money in order to get really good audio. And I think as long as your sound is good enough, you're pretty much A-okay.